On July 3rd, something is set in motion. This isn't a movement you can capture with a camera or record with a microphone. It's not a spectacle. It has no sound. It's not flashy. Yet it is absolutely real and profoundly potent. A vibrational current is beginning to flow, and like all truly life-altering changes, it happens in the quiet. Most people will completely miss this. Their attention is always pointed outward. They're scanning the horizon for a flashing sign, a cosmic bulletin, something loud to tell them what's happening. But July 3rd isn't for the person lost in the noise. It isn't for those waiting for the universe to scream. This is for you, the one who is ready to hear what has no sound, to perceive what can't be held, to witness without staring. It is for those who know how to listen to the stillness. You need to grasp that this stillness isn't an emptiness. It's the fullness of all things. When you quiet your inner world, you start to experience reality without your usual mental chatter. On July 3rd, this is the invitation being extended to you. Not to analyze with your brain, but to sense with your entire being. Not to push back, but to let in. Consider the natural world. The most immense forces are often the quietest. The sun appears without a single sound. The moon pulls the oceans without speaking. The seasons turn without a single announcement. The roots of a great tree spread deep in the earth where no one can watch. This is the way genuine transformation works, in silence. On July 3rd, you are going to sense a similar current, but only if you become slow enough to feel it. You don't have to get ready in some complex way. No ceremony is needed. No difficult technique is required. Simply pause. Simply inhale. Simply notice. On July 3rd, allow yourself to break from your normal pace. Rise a little earlier. Sense your own presence. Sense your own breathing. Sense that aliveness that is constantly with you. That very aliveness is the space where the transition will be felt. So many people are chasing significance. They hunt for answers in all the chaos. But true significance unfolds in the calm. July 3rd is not a day for more searching. It is a day for ceasing all searching. It's about waking up to the fact that what you've been running after is already here. Your mind, however, is just too cluttered to see it. When you pause, you don't waste precious time. You find your focus. The quiet presents you with a question, but it doesn't use words. This question drifts into your consciousness like a gentle wind. Will you feel it? Will you perceive its message? Will you let it move through you? Or will you brush it aside? In the constant push to achieve more, learn more, and fix more, you forget that sometimes nothing is broken. Sometimes everything is simply waiting to be acknowledged. The invisible current on July 3rd is a challenge, but not a challenge of your intellect. It's a challenge of your stillness. Can you hold your center without needing to react? Can you stay anchored when you lack all the information? Can you have faith that a process is unfolding even if you can't prove it? That is how you align with energy. That is how you harmonize with life itself. On this day, July 3rd, you may feel subtle shifts inside, a wave of emotion from nowhere, a long-lost memory surfacing, a powerful instinct to release something, or a profound quiet, as if your inner landscape is being reconfigured. These are not random events. They are messages, and they only become clear when you are quiet enough to receive them. It's so easy to ignore these signals. The world will continue to turn, the chaos will rage on, the headlines will flash, trends will come and go. But on July 3rd, none of that is what truly counts. What counts is whether you are present enough to sense the movement beneath the everyday surface. This is not some superficial adjustment. This is a deep realignment, and you cannot access depth through distraction. July 3rd extends an invitation to go inward. It doesn't make demands. It applies no pressure. It simply invites. The choice to RSVP is entirely yours. If you choose to accept, then you must step back from the constant noise. Turn away from the feeling of urgency. Power down your devices and create a quiet space. Sit with your own being. Just 5 minutes of genuine stillness can unlock the gateway to a profound transformation. Some people might say, I didn't notice a thing. And that is perfectly fine. The transition doesn't require your belief to occur. It's unfolding regardless. But your capacity to draw from it, to grow from it, hinges on your inner quiet. The more receptive you are, the more it can nourish you. The quieter you allow yourself to be, the more you will understand. You don't need faith in anything esoteric to experience this. Just be attentive to the subtle. Just respect the quiet. Your body knows. Your breath knows. The current of life flowing through you knows. All you have to do is pay attention. Not with your ears, but with your awareness. Not with struggle, but with simple presence. So on July 3rd, stop trying to run after something. Instead, allow something to find you. Create an open space within. Let the mental clutter dissolve. Don't mind what anyone else is experiencing. This realignment is for you. It is internal, it is quiet, but it is absolutely real. July 3rd is more than a date on a calendar. It is a portal. And your stillness is the very key that turns the lock. Be quiet. Be present. Be open. An unseen force is in motion. Let it flow through you. July 3rd is not really about the events in the world around you. It's about the landscape shifting inside of you. Many people brace for external events. They obsess over the news. They follow the latest trends. They attempt to forecast what's coming. But the real secret is that nothing in the outer world will feel right until your inner world is grounded. If chaos is churning within, even a peaceful day will feel stressful. If you cultivate stillness within, you will find clarity even if you are in the eye of a storm. This is the core reminder of July 3rd. The external shift is meaningless if your internal world is out of sync. Most people are looking in the completely wrong direction. They seek a sense of control over their external environment. But true power, true readiness, always starts from within. This July 3rd brings a change in the energetic frequency, a vibrational adjustment. This adjustment is subtle, but its effects can be immense if you are open. Not open with your words or open with your opinions, but open in your awareness, in your breathing, in your posture, in your very state of being. Whenever the universe is about to make a move, it first moves through you before your external life transforms. It puts signals inside you. You could feel it as a sense of restlessness. You could feel it as sudden insight. You could feel it as a feeling of unease or even a deep calm. The specific feeling doesn't matter. What matters is your capacity to notice the signal and not just fall back on old habits. July 3rd will put this to the test. It will test whether you are being reactive or responsive, whether you are anchored or adrift, whether you are acting consciously or just replaying old programming. So, what is the preparation for July 3rd? You don't get ready by consuming more or doing more. You get ready by becoming still. You get ready by paying attention. You get ready by tuning in to yourself. Ask, is my inner space clear or is it cluttered? Am I centered or am I fragmented? Am I just reacting to my surroundings or am I responding from a place of depth? The questions are very simple, but their power is immense. Being in alignment means your thoughts, your feelings, and your deeds are all working in harmony, not fighting one another. On July 3rd, many will sense that something is different. But only those who are aligned will understand how to move forward. The rest will feel confused, pulled in different directions, or overwhelmed. They will let the moment pass, not because the shift wasn't real, but because they weren't truly present within themselves. Look at your own body. Does it feel tight? Does it feel drained? Is it buzzing with vitality? Your body is the first container that energy flows into. If your body is rigid and blocked, that current cannot move with ease. On July 3rd, let your body be relaxed yet alert. Use your breath as an anchor to the present. When your breathing is full and even, your awareness becomes sharp. When your breathing is short and constricted, your mind becomes scattered and your clarity vanishes. This is the practice. Align the breath, align the body, align the mind. Not in some grand, dramatic fashion, but in a very real way. Sit down. Let your eyes close. Feel the space that exists inside you. Release the impulse to manage everything. For just a few minutes, release the past. For just a few minutes, release the future. Simply exist in that state of pure being. Your entire system will begin to find its equilibrium. This is how you align your inner self for the transition of July 3rd. The shift that is coming on July 3rd will not pause for you to get ready. It will roll in like a tide. You can either learn to surf it or be swept away by it. And which of those happens depends entirely on your inner state. The world outside may look exactly the same, but your perception, your energy, and your decisions, these are all molded from within. When you are aligned, you move with purpose. You act from a place of trust, not fear. You communicate with precision, and you listen with an open heart. On July 3rd, all of these abilities will become crucial. But these skills don't just appear from nowhere. They are cultivated over time. They are strengthened through daily practice. If you start today, right this second, then when July 3rd comes, you won't feel lost. You will feel ready. Not because you have a perfect map of what will happen, but because you have a deep connection to who you truly are. There is no greater strength than the strength that arises from inner peace. When everything in your world is in flux, your anchor has to be internal. If your anchor is tied to the external world, you will be tossed about. But if your anchor is deep within you, you can withstand any storm. This is the essence of July 3rd. It's not about fear or confusion, but about readiness, inner readiness. You don't require more detailed plans, you require more presence. You don't require more control, you require more clarity. Let July 3rd be your reminder to align your mind with your breath. Align your breath with your body, and align your body with your awareness. When all these parts of you are synchronized, even tiny changes become powerful teachers. So when July 3rd arrives, check in with yourself. Am I aligned? Am I calm? Am I aware? These aren't just questions. They are your tools. Because when the world shifts, the only thing that holds you steady is the strength you have built within. Let July 3rd be the day you truly remember this. Let it be the day you begin, not by looking out there, But by turning in here, that is where all real change begins. On July 3rd, something is going to change. But not just in the weather patterns, the news cycles, or the world at large. The most profound change will occur in the one place you might tend to overlook: the space inside of you. There are currents moving that most people cannot perceive, yet they influence everything: your thoughts, your moods, your choices, your energy. The less conscious you are of these invisible dynamics, the more you are governed by them. On July 3rd, these hidden energies will amplify. You may not be able to see them, but you will register their effect: an abrupt shift in your emotional state, a moment of strange clarity, a feeling that something is on the verge of happening. These are not just passing whims. They are indications that an invisible process is at work just beneath the surface of your life. Life is not just a physical journey. It is energetic, it is spiritual, and it is in constant motion even when you can't measure it. Most people operate as if they are driven by pure logic. They like to think their choices are rational. But a vast number of your decisions are actually guided by your subconscious: the emotions you haven't processed, the fears you haven't confronted, the narratives you continuously repeat to yourself. On July 3rd, these internal programs will get activated, not as a punishment, but as an alarm clock, to help you see what truly directs you. When you notice a strong pull towards something or a powerful push away, ask yourself: is this truly my choice, or is it a force within me I have yet to meet? On July 3rd, don't just react and forge ahead. Take a moment, go inward, observe with curiosity. There is immense power in simply noticing. The second you notice, you begin your journey from being unconscious to being conscious. And that is the birthplace of your freedom. July 3rd is not a day that calls for alarm. It is not about being afraid. It is about becoming aware. The instant you become conscious of the unseen currents shaping your experience, you reclaim your own power. That feeling that erupts from nowhere, it's not a fluke. That memory that flashes into your mind, it's not a coincidence. That silence that feels somehow heavier and more meaningful, it carries a message. But you will never decode the message if you are perpetually rushing, scrolling, and looking for external validation. The world you perceive with your eyes is just a fraction of what is truly going on. Energy creates form. Intention creates reality. You don't just attract what you desire, you attract who you are at an energetic level. This July 3rd is a powerful call to embody the very things you wish to attract, not just with your words, but with your entire energetic signature. Align your energy, and your external world will have no choice but to start shifting as well. There is a fundamental rhythm to existence. When you are out of sync with this rhythm, every action feels like a struggle. But when you are in harmony with it, things unfold with a natural grace. July 3rd will be a test of how tuned in you are. You might encounter a situation where logic fails you completely, yet you feel a deep intuitive pull in one direction. Honor that feeling. Your intellect is a valuable tool, but it's not the only intelligence you possess. Your body has wisdom, your heart has wisdom, your energy has wisdom. And on July 3rd, their voices may be louder than the chatter in your head. If you just listen. This is not a time to struggle against what you cannot see. It's a time to collaborate with it, move with it, and understand its nature. People who deny this energetic dimension of life will find themselves struggling. They'll feel disoriented, exhausted, and aimless without knowing the reason why. But those who are aware and sensitive to these currents will recognize July 3rd as an opportunity, a portal, a mirror, a moment to consciously realign. So, ask yourself right now: what are the unseen dynamics in my own life? What habits play out on a loop? What emotions keep visiting me? What core beliefs are molding my decisions? These are not questions for your mind alone. They are for your whole being. Sit with them. Don't force the answers. Allow the truth to surface gently from your depths. On July 3rd, these hidden layers of yourself will become more pronounced. The discomfort you've been avoiding will demand attention. The inner guidance you've been muting will speak up again. Don't shove it back down. This is not a sign of weakness. This is existence showing you exactly what needs your loving awareness. The more you fight the unseen, the tighter its grip on you becomes. But when you can see it, name it, and breathe with it, you begin to dissolve its power. That is the true way to prepare for July 3rd. Not just organizing your home, but clearing your mind. Not just setting your goals, but aligning your soul. Energy is honest. What you hold inside of you will always speak more loudly than what you say. The unseen world responds to your vibration, not your words. So when July 3rd arrives, don't just look to the sky, look within. When you feel that change, don't ask, what's going on out there? Instead, you must ask, what is awakening inside of me? This isn't about superstition. This is about awareness. And awareness is the line that separates the asleep from the awake, the reactive from the responsive, the imprisoned from the free. You are not meant to live life on autopilot. You are meant to live it fully conscious. July 3rd is your wake-up call. Life is in perpetual motion, but on this day, something unseen draws nearer. Will you perceive it? Will you answer its call? Or will you simply repeat the patterns of yesterday? The power to choose is yours, but the invitation has been sent. Pay attention. Become still. Acknowledge the forces within you before they write your future without your permission. On July 3rd, a subtle change will begin. And carried on that change, a quiet message will reach you. Let go. Not every burden you are carrying is meant for the next chapter of your journey. Not everything you are clinging to is designed to remain with you. The trap so many people fall into is trying to drag their entire past into their future. They try to construct something new while their hands are still clenched around what is already finished. But July 3rd is not about holding on tighter. It's about release. When a new season arrives, the previous one must conclude. This is nature's law. Before anything new can find its way into your life, something old has to depart. It might be a limiting belief, a persistent fear, a haunting memory, a relationship, or an identity you've outgrown. On July 3rd, if you are awake and present, you will feel exactly what needs to be released. You won't have to go looking for it. It will make itself known. It may surface as a feeling of unease, a wave of sadness, or a profound silence, but it will come to your attention. Letting go is not about losing something precious. It's about creating space. When your hands are full, you can't receive anything new. When your heart is cluttered, you can't connect deeply. When your mind is crowded with history, you can't hear the wisdom of the present moment. July 3rd delivers this invitation. It's an invitation to open your hands, clear out your inner world, and release what is no longer helping you grow. This process doesn't have to be a big performance. You don't need to declare it to everyone. You don't even need a perfect explanation for yourself. You simply need to acknowledge that a current is flowing and give it permission to move. Don't push back against the feeling. Don't argue with the message. On July 3rd, the very energy of the day will support this release. It will support surrender. It will support the bravery required to stop pretending and finally let go. So take a moment now and ask yourself, what in my life feels heavy? What am I gripping so tightly that brings me more anxiety than peace? What narrative is on repeat in my head that just doesn't feel true anymore? These aren't just idle questions. They are gateways. When July 3rd comes, these gateways may swing open. You don't need to charge through all of them at once. You just have to stop forcing them shut. Our culture teaches us to accumulate possessions, accomplishments, credentials, opinions. But true wisdom is about knowing what to set down. True strength isn't always found in adding more. Sometimes it's found in carrying less. July 3rd is here to remind you that real power is born not from control but from clarity. And clarity arrives when the inner static dies down. Releasing is not a weakness. It is profound wisdom. A tree doesn't cling to its dead leaves in the fall. It lets them go. It has faith in the cycle. It understands that only through shedding can new growth emerge. You too must learn to have this faith. July 3rd will invite you to trust this process. Can you truly set down what is already over? Can you liberate yourself from what has served its purpose? There might be a sting of pain as you release, and you might feel resistance. That is perfectly normal. The ego wants to hold on for dear life because it equates letting go with a loss of control. But that is a deep misunderstanding. What you are actually losing is only an illusion, and what you receive in its place is peace. July 3rd gives you an opportunity to see this with greater clarity, to loosen your grip, to breathe more freely, and to walk into your next chapter feeling lighter, unburdened, and more centered. This act of letting go is not about erasing your past or pretending it didn't happen. It's about honoring what was and then making the conscious choice not to carry its weight forward. On July 3rd, grant yourself the permission to release without guilt, without assigning blame, and without fear. This isn't giving up. This is growing up. It's aligning with the natural flow of life. You cannot welcome new energy into a space that is already packed with the old. If you want the realignment that July 3rd offers to truly transform you, you must make room for it. You must create emotional, mental, and spiritual space. That means saying goodbyes that have been postponed for too long. It means releasing expectations that were never truly yours. It means forgiving not because what happened was acceptable, but because the burden of carrying it is no longer worth your energy. It is not about doing more. It's about doing less but with a heightened awareness. It's about identifying what truly matters and finding the courage to release what does not. This isn't a performance for others to witness or validate. It is a quiet, sacred decision made within the sanctuary of your own heart. So, when July 3rd is here, be deeply honest with yourself. What are you still clinging to that you know is holding you back? What fears are preventing you from letting go, even when you know deep down that the time has come? You don't need every single answer. You only need to be willing. Let that be your practice on this day, the willingness to release, the willingness to trust, the willingness to move ahead with less so that you can finally become more. Something new is trying to enter your life, but it can't come into a home that is already full. Let July 3rd be the day you unlock the door. Let it be the day you choose clarity over clutter. Let it be the day you finally release. Not with sorrow, but with gratitude. Because everything that has passed has completed its work, and what is coming now needs your hands, your heart, and your mind to be completely free. On July 3rd, many people will be trying to guess what's going to happen. They'll be looking for clues, trying to manipulate outcomes, or holding their breath for some grand event. But this day isn't about predicting the events. It's about preparing your inner self for whatever comes. This is the crucial difference between living in fear and living in readiness, between trying to micromanage life and learning to meet life as it unfolds. When you are trying to predict the future, you are using your mind, but your mind is inherently limited. It can only operate based on what it has already experienced. The future by its very nature is composed of what you do not yet know. On July 3rd, stop trying to have it all figured out. Stop demanding to know what's next. Instead, ask a better question. What am I doing right now to build my capacity for anything? True preparation is not about having a detailed itinerary. It's about fortifying your inner state so that when you are grounded within, you can face whatever July 3rd brings with calm, clarity, and resilience. But if you just spend your time predicting and waiting, you are not centered or strong. You are fragile, and when a real change comes, you will be thrown off balance. Think of nature's wisdom. A great mountain does not prepare for a blizzard by trying to guess the speed of the wind. It just stands, solid, unshakable, deeply rooted. A river does not prepare for a downpour by fighting the rain. It flows with it, it adapts, it receives. This is what authentic preparation is. On July 3rd, your task is to be like the mountain, calm and anchored, and like the river, fluid and receptive. So many people are afraid of the unknown because they believe that if they can just predict it, they will be safe. But life doesn't operate that way. Life is not meant to be forecasted. It is meant to be lived. The people who are the most at peace are not the ones who know exactly what is coming. They are the ones who know that they are ready for whatever comes. July 3rd ushers in a new energetic current. Something might conclude, something might begin, something might come to light, but none of these outcomes are within your direct control. What you can influence is your breath, your mindset, your response. That is where your attention needs to be in your preparation. You don't get ready for July 3rd by consuming endless predictions. You get ready by sitting in silence and asking, is my mind steady or is it racing? Is my breath full or is it shallow? Is my body relaxed or is it tense? Am I truly here in this moment, or am I lost in anxiety about what is next? Far too often, people try to shield themselves with information. But real protection does not come from knowledge alone. It comes from inner discipline, from stillness, from being present. July 3rd is the ideal day to embody this truth. Do not drain your energy worrying about what might happen. Invest your energy in making yourself unshakable from within. Whatever unfolds on July 3rd will meet you exactly where you are. If you are in a state of anxiety, it will amplify your anxiety. If you are in a state of calm, it will deepen your clarity. The shift itself will not magically transform you. It will only reveal who you have been all along. This is why your preparation is more important than your prediction. You do not need to know what the future contains. You only need to know who you are in the here and now. That is the factor that will determine how you experience whatever comes on July 3rd. If you are rooted in your own awareness, you will not be broken. You may be surprised, you may be challenged, but you will not be lost. Your readiness is your anchor. So how do you truly prepare? You simplify your life. You move more slowly. You breathe more deeply. You connect with the moment you are actually in. You start asking yourself more powerful questions. Am I clinging to fear? Am I truly open to change? Do I trust the unfolding of my life? Preparation is the act of building the inner strength to remain calm when everything feels uncertain. It's about training your mind not to spiral into panic when it doesn't have the answers. It's about trusting that the way forward will become clear when you are truly ready to take the next step. This isn't about blind optimism. It's a confident trust that is forged through inner work. July 3rd is not a test of how well you can guess the future. It is a test of how well you can respond to the present. The world can change in an instant and circumstances can shift without warning. But if you are present, you will know the right thing to do. Not because you predicted it, but because you are awake enough to see clearly in that very moment. Life rewards those who are prepared, not those who try to control it. So use this time to get ready, not with fear and stress, but with a steady breath, a clear awareness, and a quiet strength. Don't wait for a major event to shock you into action. Become still now, become strong now, so that when July 3rd comes you won't be caught off guard or desperately seeking answers. You will simply meet life as it arrives, fully, peacefully, and with power. This is the ultimate lesson of July 3rd. The future is not in your hands, but your preparation is. And when you are truly ready, no matter what shows up, you will know how to meet it. You won't have to run or guess. You will only have to stand, breathe, and act from your center. On July 3rd, something will begin to realign. Not with a bang, not with force, but with a quiet and steady presence. And the people who feel it most profoundly won't be the ones who are busiest, the ones making the most noise, or the ones desperately searching for answers. The people who will truly integrate the message of July 3rd are the ones who have cultivated their own inner stillness,